personal life?
We'll talk about that on one of the future shows. Hello, everybody. Dr. Willie Jolley.
Hi, this is Dee Taylor Jolley.
And it is Happily Married Monday with the Jolleys. And we are coming to you live and in living room color. How are you this evening? Hope you're well. Hope things are going great in your life. Happy New Year for those who are joining us for the first time this new year. And greetings to everybody who joins us regularly. We want to say what a great week we had. Greetings to everybody, a weekend we had. Greetings to everybody in New Jersey who
Perth Amboy.
Perth Amboy, New Jersey.
Have you ever heard of that?
I had heard of it, but I had never been there before.
I'd never heard of it.
I had heard of it. So we had a great time with my friend Bishop Donald Hillier and the folks at Cathedral International, where I did leadership on Saturday, and we did worship services on Sunday with the power of a promise. Great message that God gave me. And on Friday, to the folks at Motier.
Motier Services, Inc.
And they're
based in Northeast Washington, D.C.
But
they're government contracting service.
But they stretch all the way over to Nigeria. So to all the folks over in Nigeria who might be watching us tonight, greetings. And everybody around the world, we're so glad to have you. We're grateful. Please continue to tell people about Happily Married Mondays with the Jolleys. And we are grateful that you're able to be with us tonight.
And what's our topic tonight? Tonight,
we're going to talk about 5 tips to stop arguing about money in 2020. Ha ha!
Oh, that rhymes.
Yeah, hi. 5 tips to stop arguing about money in 2020. For those who might be first-time visitors, I'm Dr. Willie Jolley, and I'm the author of the book A Setback is a Setup for a Comeback, and host of the Willie Jolley Show on Sirius XM Radio across America every Saturday at 4 o'clock, and Monday morning at 8, Tuesday evening at 6, and Wednesday morning at 11, channel 141. And very proud and honored and excited to say I joined last Monday, on January the 6th, I joined the Erica Campbell Morning Show, Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell, on the Praise Network on Radio 1 across the country. You can hear me every morning at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time and 7:20 a.m. Central Time with Wake Up and Win with Dr. Willie Jolley. And I talk about my bride. She's a cutie pie. Now, let's talk about tips. 5 tips.
There are probably more, but we came up with 5 good ones.
5 tips to stop arguing about money in 2020. How many of you have had an argument about money with your significant other? How many have had an argument? And some people their marriages break up about money.
Well, not enough? Is that usually the case?
Well, just money. We don't know what the reasons are. There's finances. Sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes it's not managing well. Sometimes it's keeping secrets. Some kind.
You don't know where the money is.
Spending erratically. All sorts of things. Money can be a big problem in marriages. And we want to help you from some of the lessons we learned. From lessons we learned that we put in the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, 10 Secrets to Shaping a Great Marriage, as well as lessons we've learned that we didn't put in the book. We got a lot of stuff that we just couldn't get in the book. The book is power-packed, but we still got a lot of lessons. So let's talk about our last big argument about money.
I would say our last big argument. We only really
our last argument. We only had an argument. We only had one big argument.
A major disagreement.
About money.
About money. And it's really kind of convoluted because it was over computer software and data entry.
Mm-hmm.
And I had come to work with you. You had wooed me away from Capitol Hill.
Yep.
I was trying to figure out what I was doing.
Yep.
Because you couldn't tell me. I just had to follow you around.
Mm-hmm.
Because we really then had no systems for what you did and when you did it. Hi, we're getting some love stuff.
Getting love. Thank you for the love.
Thank you so much. And we kind of talked. We always kind of talked about, because you were an entrepreneur, and I was always scared to death because I wasn't an entrepreneur. But I followed you into this entrepreneurial path, so I felt the need to talk about everything. So we talked about this. Basically, we needed a computer software to organize the names and the emails. That's where we were.
A database. We needed a database.
We needed a database. We didn't even really call it a database. It was apt back then. Everybody had apt. And we were going to use an app software. And I had done the research, so I thought, and I had identified an individual who could input all of these names or transfer it
teach
from
it,
one.
and no, teach us how to do it too. Give us some consulting.
Gave us consulting, but also to transfer the major the word files, the names and the emails, and came up with a good price. And so I thought, and I shared it with you, and you said, "Oh, okay, that seems like a good price." And I was always nervous about it because you are frugal.
And when I'm running a business and paying bills and making sure that every penny, and I'm making at that point maybe $150 a speech or so. And maybe
so
$200,
we had to watch. And I said we really had to watch every penny.
It was
terms
tight.
of how it came in, because you're not getting paid. When you're an entrepreneur, you're not getting paid every week, every other week, or that consistent paycheck. When that money comes in, we're both watching the pot. This is how much came in. What do we need to pay?
Right.
So we figured that, I think the bill was supposed to be like $1,500.
No, it was supposed to be $750. I'll never forget it. It was supposed to be $750 for this lady to come, and you said
One evening.
It was a daytime. It was during the day. It wasn't an evening. It was a day, because it couldn't have been an evening.
It spread into the evening.
Yes, it did. Ha ha. Oh, and Dee confirmed with me. I said, I really don't want to do this. I'll figure out how to use it. No, we need to bring in this lady. It's going to be $750.
Professional.
And I got this.
Organize the database.
I got this.
Because you need to have systems, step by step, of how you do stuff. And I did not know how to do that.
But
he was running here and there, speaking.
But I was willing to say I would figure it out like I figured everything else out. And so you said it's going to be $750. We budgeted. I had struggled to make that $750. I said, okay. Then what happened?
Well, what had happened was what we had guesstimated ended up not being correct because it took her longer. And it wasn't a flat project fee. That's another lesson. It wasn't a flat project fee. And so it took several hours longer, and it ended up being $1,500.
There was no. Again, you keep on this $1,500. Oh no. It was $2,250. It was way over. It was way over budget.
You know, you have the propensity for the exaggeration.
Whatever it was, when she handed us that bill, I was livid. Now, I'm not talking about mad. I was livid. Steam was coming out of my ears. I had hair then. Steam was coming up out of my hair. Coming out of my nose. Steam.
Really bad. No, he didn't say anything, but I could tell from the expression on his face. I knew she was going. I said, okay, how quickly can you do this? You know what I mean? And what do you say when you're caught in a situation? I'm not done. This is more than I anticipated. I don't think it was $2,500, $2,200. I think it was $1,500.
Whatever it was way over budget. And I didn't have that kind of money at that point. And so here's the first lesson. I didn't say what I was thinking. I didn't, even after the lady left, I was livid.
You took a drive.
I said, I'll be back. I did not say anything out of my mouth that I could regret.
You did not.
And that's what
I felt really bad. I felt really bad. No, I want to say I felt really bad.
Yeah, you got that. But here's what I want to say. Your feeling bad ain't got nothing to do with us staying married, okay? Because you felt bad. If what I did in that moment, I did not say what I was thinking because I didn't want to have something I would regret.
He did not blow his stack.
Not verbally. I blew it internally. I said, I'm going for a ride. And I went for a ride.
You did say that.
I'm going for a ride. And I got my car and I went for a ride till I could cool down, calm down. Said, okay. I had a conversation with myself. Said, you know what? What's more important? This little $2,200, whatever the amount was, or our marriage. She's trying to do something to help the company. I'll make that money. I'll figure out how to make the money. I done figured out everything else. I'll figure it out. And I came back and we had a conversation. And that lesson is number one, 5 tips. Tip number 1, talk about everything. And talk calmly. When you're livid, when you're upset, when you're angry, those are not the times to say what you're thinking. Because remember, words are like toothpaste. I've said this over and over again. Once it's out of the tube, you can't pull it back.
Well, specifically, I think as it relates to the finances, to talk about where all of the money is.
Okay, well, I'm talking about everything.
Everything.
So first thing is, talk about everything. We really mean that's not about that issue. Talk about all the money. Talk about the money. Talk about the money. And have a conversation about the money. So
even down to, I feel uncomfortable if I don't have X amount always in an account for an emergency.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And you are more of a risk taker than I am.
Much more risk.
So I'm always trying to, working at saving some extra over here.
She's risk averse and I'm risk pro.
Because he's an entrepreneur. He is like, this is what we're going to do. This is the money. And I'm like, well, I'd rather save half of that because I don't know what's going to happen.
And I say, shoot the wad. I'm going to shoot the wad. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to get.
And we will make some more money.
I'll make some more money. What did I say to you when you said, when I got you to come here from your job, you said, what about health insurance? What was my one thing? I said, we'll make more money. We'll make more money. We need health insurance. We'll make more money.
First of all, you said, let's look at how much money we have. Let's look at how much money is coming in monthly now.
Okay, so that's next thing. So first, talk about everything, all the money. Number 2 is list all your monthly expenses. So we're past that experience. Now we got to get some systems so that we don't argue about money. Right. We have not argued about money since that day. Okay, here are our systems. Number 1, talk about everything. All money, and then list your monthly expenses. Many people don't list their monthly expenses.
And that's kind of the beginning of a budget, because sometimes
kind of like a budget,
people,
right.
you're spending all the money, but you don't really know if you have enough to really spend all of the money. You should not be spending every dollar that you bring in.
And you know, one of the things we learned, you remember the she was the principal of Williams School when he was at First Baptist. I can't think of their names now, but from the Hart School.
Oh, okay.
And she and her husband had a system. They had a monthly budget, and every month they would take $200 in cash. They take X amount of money in cash and put it in an envelope. And this is our eat out money. The money for eating out. We can use this to eat out, but when it's over, we cannot go into our savings or our other monies. Those are earmarked.
Household budget money.
So you had a budget, and you had some miscellaneous money. That's probably miscellaneous to go somewhere where they could go to a movie, but once that was over, that was it.
But that's what they had agreed on.
They talked about it. They created a list of monthly expenses.
And then how much money is left over? Is there anything left over? Well, if there's nothing left over, then you got to go back.
Well, let's talk about how we do it. We tithe 10%. Let's just say it. We tithe 10% of our income. Why? Because we trust God with our dollars. And everybody don't believe like we believe, but we telling you, we tithe 10%. And we are grateful for that. I remember Keith Harrell, God bless his soul, when we were sitting in Florida, me, him, and William. William was about 7 or 8. And Keith had just signed a multi-million-dollar book deal. And Keith and I started speaking at the same time. I had introduced him to the first publisher. And then he got this multi-million-dollar book deal. And I said, man, what did you do? How did you do it? He said, Willie, do you tithe? I said, what? He said, do you tithe? He said, man, I'm telling you, tithing is the best way to maximize all God's going to give you. Tithe. I said, really? I came from a background where tithing was not something you ever heard people talk about. You plate go by, you put $1 in. But I listened to him, and then over the years, I've learned from others the benefit. There's a great book by Mark Victor Hansen, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, called The Miracle of the Tithe. He's a tither, and they've sold millions and millions of books. Anyway, we tithe a 10th, we save a 10th, we invest a 10th, and we live on 70% of what we create. And we've done that for years. Tithe a 10th, save a 10th, invest a 10th, and we live on 70%. And then some of that 70% we can invest in some other things. My wife. If
we have enough, and you can't say.
I'm just saying that's our system.
Yes.
Okay, that's our system. Okay, so we talk about everything.
Mm-hmm. And especially those things that make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I'm always. He is an entrepreneur by nature.
This is a good question. What if the husband won't list his part of the bill money? That's a problem. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute, because that sounds like you don't have a system. Okay, don't have a system. There are a couple other questions here. Listen. Okay, so do we have any? Okay, no, that was a. Okay, we're going to talk about that. What if the husband won't list his part? Because that comes in the system. Okay. Now, no major purchases without talking to your mate. And we talk about that in the book, and there's a great story in there about Ron and Gladys Pemberton. Ron and Gladys Pemberton are dear friends of ours, and they married a few years earlier than us, but they talked about the fact how they got from me to we mindset. Ron likes cars. He was in sales, computer sales. Gladys was a school teacher. They got married. Ron loves cars. He had a vet, and he had all these different fun, wonderful cars when he was single. Well, one day he's riding home from work, and he rides out of a Mercedes dealership, and it turns in just to see what's happening. And there's this beautiful new car, and the guy talks to him, and he buys the car. He said, Gladys would love this car. This would be great for us to ride around in. So he buys the car. He gets home and tells Gladys, hey, baby, I got a surprise for you. I bought a new Mercedes. And she flips out because she said, I'm pregnant with our first child. This is not something you do without us talking about it. And he said, I learned that day, there's no more me. It's we. All purchases are discussed.
Okay. Let's go back to the lady. Let's address this.
All right.
The person who says
what about my husband?
Who will not.
If the husband won't list his part of the bill money. Now, by list his part of the bill money.
Does it mean he doesn't list his bills?
That he doesn't list his bills, or he won't tell you how much income he has, or I'm not quite sure. But what if the husband won't list? In other words, there's still some not clarity and conversation about the money.
So that would suggest, since we don't know which of that is the case, that would suggest that each person doesn't know how much the other one is actually bringing in. And perhaps they don't pool their monies.
Right. Okay, so that's why I wanted to get to the system. Before we get to the system, no major person without talking to your mate. Ron and Gladys, a great story in the book. I won't take the time now because we got to get so much information to you. But we made a decision that when we got married, I had an account, been having my own account. She had her own account. We put each other's names on each other's account. She knew my accounts. She knew my money that was in my account. I knew about her accounts, what money was in there. That was for the internet, where we had to actually talk about it. But no hidden accounts. Hold on, let me say that again. No hidden accounts. That's setting you up for a train wreck. Go ahead, what were you going to say?
I was going to say But if you're already in a situation and your spouse is not disclosing, what do you do then?
Well, then you have to have...
There's a lack of trust.
Oh, it creates insecurity and trust.
Yes.
And so we say then we...
That goes back to...
Excuse me.
Communication and uncomfortable conversations. You got to have.
Be friendly. Be frank. Mm-hmm. This is how that makes me feel. Mm-hmm. Be fair. Mm-hmm. Ask, why are you doing that?
Yeah, why? Why don't you want... If I'm the closest thing to you, we're sharing common fluids and all this other kind of stuff, we're intimate, but yet we're not intimate with our finances, why do you need to hide something from me?
Right. Let's see something. Here's y'all. He won't disclose how much he makes or what exactly he pays. That's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. And
so that must have started out that way. I don't know.
So, what's the system? What is your marriage system? So, that's where we get to the next one. Decide what system you make. Chapter number. Do you have the book, by the way? I won't call names, but do you have the book? If you don't, get 2 copies. Both of y'all should read it because it's hard for you to go in if he has no frame of reference. We're telling people in the book. Here's Ron and Gladys' story, by the way. For those who have the book, Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. It's on page 147. Let me finish saying it. 147 is the Ron and Gladys story. Okay, go ahead.
I think part of the issue is perhaps if they've never had a discussion, I don't know, as to the benefit of knowing each other's expenses so you can support each other.
Well,
why would it be even advantageous to know where each other's monies are?
Because that's what we're saying to them. The reason that it cuts down on what happens if one of y'all dies.
Oh my God.
People die.
No. What about if you get
ill?
He can't sick. He can't talk. What if you can't talk? He's paying the mortgage. You're paying something else.
We had another friend who called us, was on the brink of divorce because she said, I don't know how much money he makes, where the money is spent. I know nothing. I live a good life. He paid all the bills. I'm living a nice lifestyle, but I know nothing. And now I feel very uncomfortable about it. We said, get 2 copies of the book. Y'all read the book together. They worked it out. They got a system now. What we go to the 5th one.
I think it teaches you in what the book discusses the why as we talk about the different stories, the advantages of not having secrets and communicating, because that's a trust issue.
Right.
And it comes down to you are supposed to be as one, and anything can happen. Disasters, people die suddenly.
People get sick.
Are you
whatever.
Prepared?
So. Count the cost. Money matters. Chapter number 10. Count the cost. Money matters. Many couples. Here's the quote from on the beginning of the book. Many couples are so busy being romantic that they forget to talk about anything practical, like personal finances. Money management is not a romantic subject, but marriage, which should be seen as entering into a financial as well as a romantic partnership. We say marriage is not just love, but it's also business. Because anytime you put monies and mingling monies, you doing some business together. And it's a merger of 2 companies, 2 organizations.
It's a merger of assets.
Right.
Let's take how property is even titled. That's major.
We've had that conversation with folks. Okay, but let me get to systems. Okay. In the book, we talk about 3 systems: the 1 pot, the 2 pot, the 3 pot. 1 pot usually happens to people. We see that and found out with people who are right out of college, right out of high school, got married, don't have anything but a dream. They're starting off from ground zero. We found many people who use that 1 pot and have done it well. Kenny and Rudine Glass, Bradley and Terry Thomas. We found a number of people who do that, and one person responsible for writing the bills, but all the money goes in 1 pot. Then there's the 2 pot.
And then everybody watches the pot.
Everybody watches the pot.
So you have just one set of accounts.
Right. Everything, 1 account. 1 set of account. Then it's the 2 pot. Now, we see the Borleys do that one, where they both make a good income, One would take the mortgage, one would take the utilities, one would take this food, one would take that. Whatever it is, and then they talk about everything, and they know what the bills are. They have set out the monthly expenses, and they go with it. Let's see. Okay. There's no joint bank account. There's his bills and my bills. It's a hot mess. That's good. That's good. It is a hot mess. So here's what we recommend. There's the three part. That's what we did. I had an account. She had an account. We talked about it. She put my name on her account. I put her name on my account. And then we created a third account, a household account.
The household account.
And we sat down and listed, as we go back, list the monthly expenses. And once we listed the monthly expenses,
that would be paid from that household account.
Yeah, I want to see what more. She has more here. Okay. Okay, we're not prepared for just living one day at a time. The house is in my name because I have good credit. Don't know how to fix this. Okay, it's fixable. This is fixable, and I'm glad you brought it up, and that's why we are here to help. We're here to help because this is something we've dealt with a number of others with. One, I hope you have the book, but if you don't, please, and get 2 copies so he can read it and you can read it, so he can have a different perspective. Because everybody wants to have a happy marriage. I would hope everybody wants to be happy and have peace, as well as not have hot messes in their relationship.
You know what I would say? And the property is in her name. So maybe part of the challenge is, how do we get on the same page? Perhaps it's an issue of him, I don't want to say manning up, but learning how to be a trusted equal partner.
Yeah, but here's the problem. She can't make him do that.
I understand.
That's why
But exposure to information.
That's why I'm just saying, get in the book so he can read.
And don't say, you need to read this chapter.
Don't say that. No, this is a book that we want to name the book. How
do we
make love,
grow,
make money, make it last? Make love, make money, make it last. 10 Secrets for Shaping a Great Marriage. You can get it at jollymarriage.com to get it signed. You go to jollymarriage.com. We give you a deal if you get 2 books. And you can also get the audio version as well. And you can get the seminar and
which
the work.
Which is humorous.
And humorous. And then get the workbook. jollymarriage.com and get 2 copies.
You know what I would say? This is a new decade. It's a new decade. We're working on where we're going to be in 10 years. This is our first year of our 10-year plan. Let's get a plan on how we're going to work
and setting
together.
goals for the
yes.
decade. Where do you want to be for the family? Where do you want to be for the decade? Where do you want to be?
You don't want to beat them up.
No, you do not want to beat him up, and you don't want to tell him he doesn't know what he's doing. No, that's not the answer. This is where I want y'all to be on the same team. We are on the same team. We're not her against me or me against her.
So how do we grow together?
But we're on the same team, though. I want us to make sure she understands. You want him to be on your team, and you want to be on his team. And that's very important. So this is not confrontational. This is how we can win together. We want to win. We want to win in our finance. We want to win in our family. We want to win in our relationship. We want to win. We want you to win. So decide what system. Get the book, go through the processes, and get the system, because it will make a difference, and it will have an impact, and it will give a new perspective. It worked for us.
So first is to start communicating.
Talking.
Saying, what can we do differently in 2020 that will help us grow ourselves and our finances and our legacy for this coming year? What a great time to start.
And we talk about money. We talk about all the money. We talk about our goals, where we want to go, where we want to be, what we want to achieve, what we want to invest. She's really the investment queen. But we talk about...
I'm detailed. And what I do is I share with him, because he has the big vision about the business, and he's out there doing all these things, which gives me an opportunity to focus on the detail. But I have to keep him in the loop as to what's going on with the 401k. What does the market look like with a Roth IRA? So he's not like, what? Do you know what investments are? Did you know that Tesla has come to $500? So $500. So I am always sharing with him information. Oh, honey, read this. Tell me what you think. That's a great way. You don't tell.
We're going to
your
come
mate-
back to this because this is a hot
Yeah.
topic. We're going to try and come back to this again because this is a hot topic. How to stop arguing about the money in 2020. This is part 1. We'll be back next week. Look to see you. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Go to jollymarriage.com, jollymarriage.com. And we've been talking about having a seminar too. We got to get that together. If you're interested in the seminar, we're going to have, we're going to make it a virtual seminar. So no matter where you are in the world, you can access it. Just send us an email at info@williejolly.com.
And you can come with it without your mate. This is information.
Well,
this is learning how to communicate.
I don't know if I want to say that. See, we don't always agree. I don't know. I want your mate to come. No, but I don't want to even start that. What did you say when you said when we were dating? You said you were going to go on a vacation by yourself. What did I say? What did I say?
I
don't think so. No, you go, I'm going. You leave me, I'm coming with you. All right? No, so we're going to try and encourage your mate.
Encourage the spouse.
All right, yeah. I don't want you to come by yourself. I want y'all to come together so I can have a man-to-man, brother-to-brother, man to talk to brothers about it, and she can talk to the lady. Look, we got to go. Our time is up. Thank y'all. Thank you. Hope y'all enjoying this. Jollymarriage.com. Get the book. Get the book. I want to save marriages. We want to save 1 million marriages. That's our goal. We got to go. Jolly out.
Jolly out.